Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Lang Mini Studios, and Chase, better known as Kilk, as we talk about Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop gaming. Beyond that room, there's roughly Tove's least favorite room out of that entire dungeon was the 25 Pillars room, with three doors behind it. The group was cautious the pillars due to previous encounters and definitely because of traps. But it wasn't until everyone was about halfway through this room this time that they're unconscious, or they're very cautious. They're creeping along, and then they all come alive as these mimics, ropers, hybrid things that I had Frankenstein together. And it wasn't so much they were trying to eat you, it was just literally slap you to death.
Yep. and that's when Merrick goes, I knew it! It's another one! It's another pillar trying to kill me!
It was a rough fight for the back of the line just because they closed a gap between Merrick and the back line.
Mm-hmm.
Tove got walloped for the very first time in this campaign hard.
Yeah, she took a lot of damage.
She got down, I think, single-digit HP for the first time ever at level 15 or 16.
Yeah.
She has a very good knack of avoiding like the harder parts of combat. Ramah got knocked unconscious. This was the part of the trial where Tove, and for basically the rest of the dungeon, Tove basically just started getting smacked around. Like, she took damage in every single fight afterwards. This was a change for her, I feel, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
She started feeling it, and I put Tove, the player, as opposed to the character, in a uncomfortable situation because she ain't used to being that person that actually gets it. She actively tries to avoid it.
Oh, yeah. She goes, like, out of her way to, like... She will sacrifice a damage-dealing round in order to not take damage. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of points as a game master or dungeon master where I purposely had it. Would it go more towards Merrick? Probably, but it went towards her just to achieve that out of the zone comfort, because this is a divine trial for a divine spark, so everybody needs to feel out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking back, though, the group was already uneasy about the pillar room because of Bridget's forge, and since then the pillars had been in the rooms to make the group cautious. I used terrain as monster markers before. What was the psych out like having your guard lowered and they didn't attack, but then they did? For sure, I know Tove and Ramah, like I had mentioned, got the short end of the stick, sorry, with this one. But how did that feel for you guys? Like, guard up, guard down, and then oh shit, guard up.
For me as a player, like I mentioned before, it was an I knew it moment, because it's just it's like the whole like paranoia thing, to where, are you really paranoid if they are out to get you? You know, type of a thing. So it's like, okay, this just justify for Merrick, it would justify his paranoia, to where he's been attacked by pillars that looked like pillars before, but oh no, they're not. So this moment was, okay, these things are going to attack us. Oh, they didn't? Okay, that's interesting. And then when they do attack, it's, ha! I knew it! These things are trying to kill us. I told you. See? Vindication. But it is one of those like emotional like moments, to where that excitement builds up. Maybe you get that adrenaline hit a little bit more because you do have that validation of, see, this is why I was on edge, and then you kind of calm down, and then it actually happens. It justifies that feeling.
I think Toybar stayed towards the back on that particular fight, didn't he?
Was Toybar behind Tove? I don't remember.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
No. Remember?
I feel like I'm not remembering this room.
So you had the three doors that eventually you found out were talking, but before that there was
they were the labyrinth test.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was before that room.
So you had the 25 pillars, 5x5 in that room before. Group gets on edge because obviously Bridget's Forge, and
Right.
they get halfway through, and that's when they attack, is when they're halfway through. And then Tove gets unfortunately cut up to the front because of everything happening and starts getting smacked.
Yeah, I don't remember why she got shoved to the front.
She came up to do something or check the doors, and then you're halfway.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, she was going to go up to check the door to see if it was, if it had any like.
What were the
mechanical
other monsters that you dropped on us in this? Was it? It wasn't just the
It was just literally.
flappers, was it?
It was literally just a room of like pillars, pillar slapper, roper monsters.
I feel like I'm not remembering this room, so I apologize.
It's
been
okay.
a while, though.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
But beyond that, after kind of getting just the snot knocked out of everybody, that's when resource management started becoming a thing. After this room in particular and the hallway of the dead, the group took a short rest after that, kind of recouped some resources. But then you guys were all in the 3 doors puzzle room, but with a twist. There was a third door as opposed to 2. One told the truth, one always lied, and then the other was just chaos. You couldn't tell, or he just would give random answers.
Because yeah, Toybar wanted to keep that door.
Yeah.
Wait, don't we still have it?
I don't think you guys actually ever took it off.
We never took it.
We never took it. Okay, cool. All right.
No, we were worried about something. I can't remember what it was, but
Oh, we were worried about what would happen to it in an extra dimensional space or something like that.
no, that was something else.
Yeah, that was something else. Oh, yeah, I don't remember why we were.
The one that told
Maybe
the
it's
truth.
too big.
Oh, it was too big to fit into the door was too big to fit into the bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Well, that.
And I couldn't shrink him down because he's magic.
Yep.
Yep.
There it is.
So I think that's what it was.
But yeah, I remember like Nate was talking about the doors and that they were talking, and I remember like just in the back of my head, I go, "This sounds like the Labyrinth one, where one tells the truth and the other one tells lies." And Nate kind of had that aha moment. He's like, "Okay, good. Brent knows what I'm talking about. Here's the twist." Like, oh, there's a third door. Great.
Right. Yeah. The third door like sometimes lied, sometimes tell the truth.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or just told random. Yeah. It just didn't answer the question and just went off on a random tangent.
Yeah.
I think the thing I noticed with this one is like you as a player, Brent, was getting irritated with these doors out of character.
Yeah. Because sometimes if I'm in the right mindset, I like logic puzzles. But if I'm like tired or whatever, I get cranky.
Yeah.
And my patience goes, my patience suffers.
I was talking to Chase about this away from the table, and I'm like, Brent is the type of person that when he gets tired, if the person does not give the answer that he wants, or they don't know it as an NPC, they're automatically useless or dumb.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like my patience just goes out the window, and it's a character flaw of my own. It's something that I'm working on. But yeah, absolutely.
It's a minor flaw.
But no one's perfect.
But it's one that I know you have, so I take advantage of it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's all good.
Which is half the reason that the High Council of Mages was such a fun roleplay, because I just knew they'd grind on you so hard.
Oh, they are so useless. These are the most powerful, experienced magic caster collective on the planet, and they have no clue what they're doing.
Actually, on a previous episode, Chase, I came up with the best saying to describe the High Council. They are incompetently capable.
Yes.
Talk about the Mages Council, right?
Yeah.
So, let me ask you a question. In that realm,
Yeah.
that was basically just a magic college,
Yeah.
right? Of local like strong mages, and
yeah, basically like the northern part
I
of the
didn't-
empire.
yeah, I didn't really take them to be necessarily, say, the greatest mages in the land.
No, well, in that region at least.
In that region, because the Archmage,
But-
he's technically level like 20, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 4th tier. He's
Yeah,
15
I'm
to
sorry,
20.
4th tier. Yeah, so between 17 and 20 type thing. So I don't care where you are in the world. If you're that high of a level, you're one of the best. And that's what we get.
But I didn't take them as the authority for magic.
No.
I took them as, hey, this is the outpost for this area of mages. So that the true mage council, and let's say, Caspian was on that council in the capital, he might have had his own council in this land that he kind of watched over. And that's what I took it as. His side council, not the actual legitimate mages council that rules that world or region or not region, that realm, right?
Let me just write that down real quick because that's a good idea.
There's always a bigger fish.
Right. That's the way that I took it, because, and here's the reason why I took it that way. Before we left and got there, what happened? The trial happened, right? And where did the people come
Zalipska.
from to come try them? They were the people from the Republic capital, which means that we were not in the Republic capital, and that Mage's Tower wasn't the Republic capital. It was just a magical
No, it was
seat of power that trained other mages there in that region, and then maybe they sent the really strong mages out to the capital to get trained in even stronger thing, because they had to teleport to Hearth from the capital to the place to do the trial.
Yeah, Herfell,
Before he got executed.
and then the capital of Nimdor, which it's a one-off name. It's Fallhaven, but yeah, Fallhaven is basically the capital of the entire Nimdor Empire.
So I just looked at this place as not necessarily the true Mage Council, but maybe that region's council for Caspian, because I felt he was very intelligent.
Yeah,
right. He was a arch time mage or something, right?
Basically, but like he fell into that kind of thing that I was talking about. He was incompetently capable. He was perfectly capable.
He wasn't strong enough to fight the Nagpaw off, that's for sure.
Well, he didn't realize it happened, I guess. Magic can overcome magic, right? Mages have to be able to get beat some way.
Yeah.
Some big, bad, powerful mage when a cursed
creature...
creature...
if you're going to get... if something's going to get the better of you in a magical, subterfuge, it should probably be one of the beings that have been cursed by Odin.
That is
right?
True.
Basically the original witch's coven.
Yeah, that there's only a certain number of them ever in existence, and that's a good point.
We talk a lot of shit about that mage council, but the thing that got the better of them was, an immortal being that thrives on a thirst for knowledge, and that is technically very dangerous.
That is true, yeah. So if anything's going to take over a mage college, it would be that. Yeah, that's true.
And it's probably not the first time that's happened. So there's probably protocols in place, mages council in this region got, something happened, they were compromised. What do we do?
Yeah, burn it down.
Because if you notice when you guys were in that part of the story, there's a bunch of times where you tried to wander off, and I purposely worded it of, no one's allowed down there anymore. You can't go down there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. That's where Toybar got shot, right? By the electric bolts or some shit?
There's a couple of things that happened to Toybar in that area. Oh, yeah, the anti-magic spears.
Mm-hmm.
Or little spears, not spheres, but spears. Basically, mages don't find spears.
I just didn't take this region that we were in as a place that held the ultimate authority of the land. That's all it was.
And the way Merrick looked at it is
here. That's the way that I was viewing my situation.
But yeah, and as far as Merrick is concerned, Merrick has, I think, maybe a 1 in his arcane skill. So going to them, they are the premier like magic casters because he doesn't know jack about arcane magic. He's a paladin, So like, what does he know about casting spells and all that fun stuff? Yes, he has his own magic from his oath, but he's not casting fireballs. He's not doing wish or teleport or nothing.
Right.
So these people are, an authority in that knowledge space. So him going in expecting these people to be professional and knowledgeable and all of this, and then he's the one that has to, as far as he's concerned, he has to save them from themselves. And so it's just, what, really? This is what I respected?
Also, the head guy, Kaskin, was, an older dwarf near retirement. And if anyone's worked at those type of jobs where that person's near retirement, he's already checked out halfway out the door.
He did not care. He's like, I am 5 days to retirement, and then you bring this mess to my door. No, go away.
Right. And to give that man props, all he did was touch the infernal box and it opened up. Like,
yeah,
the infernal box. He was that we couldn't figure out. He was just like, oh, doink, and you rolled a nat 20.
It's like, oh, you can't figure this out. Like, here, it's this and this. Oh,
this makes sense.
I guess
so it was a kind of a flex moment for the Archmage, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I feel like it really, it was one of those moments that like awed Toybar, right? During that moment, Toybar was like, "Whoa!"
All right.
But the new one,
Silvera,
she hasn't done anything. Yeah, Silvera hasn't really done anything. She's helped us out, fair, but she killed my buddy on accident. She still killed him.
Yeah.
And other than that, like that's all she's really done.
Well, she's on. You guys are on power level with her. She isn't an authority of magic compared to you guys. She's a tier 4 archmage now, but she was basically a level 10 in quotations archmage when you first ran into her. She just took the position and like, I'm keeping my word.
Yeah, and yeah, it's the difference between an authority figure and a peer.
Yeah.
To where Kaskian, when we met him, was an authority figure. If we were to meet him fresh right now, he would be a peer.
Yeah.
Because we're all in the same technical power sphere now. So that's why when we look at Silvera, it's like, yeah, she's nothing special because she is of equal power to us.
And she's off here casting level 8 and 9 spells.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, this is like World War and stuff.
Lightning has been pretty good.
Yeah. And all that Merrick knows is that when we're going to get to it here in a minute, but when we were fighting Fenrir, there was only one person in that room fighting Fenrir with Merrick, and it was Silvera. Everybody else was out in the hallway hiding behind stone walls. There was only one person in there fighting on the front line with Merrick, and it was her.
We'll actually get to that part.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a minute.
I will actually get to that.
Now, that's the Toybar's fault. It is Toybar's fault.
We'll get to that part right now, because after you guys kind of solved the 3 puzzle doors, figured out which one was the truth, Toybar opens up the truthful door after figuring out he can't take out the chaos door with him because he wanted to keep it as a memento or a token or, a buddy. And then goes running through the truth door and just goes running in. I already had this in my mind, like, they get beyond this certain point, this thing comes out of its little, basically, kennel.
Yeah.
And then activate. You bust all the way in there. Everyone else is still in the back room. So you've triggered Fenrir, and you think you triggered... Did I have you guys roll initiative, or did I just have a triggered action where he just did his thing already?
No. You did that as a surprise round, and then we rolled initiative, or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we rolled initiative after it kicked in
there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He attacked me immediately because I was down to like 0, almost off the rip.
Almost immediately, yeah.
Yeah. Which, in a way, for once, you talk about not wanting to be impulsive or hog the spotlight, but you did it finally. You ran in there, did that, took the beating.
I did.
And then you technically save the party by doing that, because if everyone else would have went in there and did that, boom.
We would have all been behind the barrel a little bit right off the cuff. So yeah, gotta give props to Toybar for taking that hit.
Well, yeah, I Misty stepped out, right? I was like, nope, and I even did a fun little roll. So Toybar walks in. I guess we can reset the stage a little. Yeah. Toybar walks in and sees a lot of magic, right? I can't remember the reason I ran in.
There was a couple of like severed werewolf heads, like on spikes, and then there was a big green pillar in the middle of the room. That was radiating magic.
Radiating artifact level necromancy.
Yeah, like super high tier. Yeah.
And you did detect magic, and it was basically your first ever seeing like the darkest black cloud of
something
necromancy.
Like this.
Yeah. It was like...
So I ran in. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. This is super high tier magic.
Fenrir walks out, right? Out of his kennel, basically.
Yeah, his little alcove.
And he just immediately attacks me. And it was like if you think about it, it's like this giant dog skeleton that's just crushing on me over and over. And so I'm just like, I'm out.
And then for anyone that, don't know our setting, in the first campaign ever back in 2018, Fenrir died.
Yeah.
And then you come to find out after this fight that Odin had taken Fenrir's remains and basically turned him into a guard dog in some sort of twisted retaliation of, oh, you're trying to kill me? Now you're my pet. Because Odin is a true neutral god and just does what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a little bit of a poetic revenge type situation.
It was an undead Fenrir that basically launched this necrotic dragon's breath out of its mouth at Toybar.
Took it to the face.
Yeah, and then he attacked me. I got clawed. I basically was down to like 5 hit points, and I Misty stepped. And then I moved out in front of the door, and then I rolled my fate dice, right? Because I was like, man, Toybar basically almost just died in one hit. And the only reason I survived is because I Misty stepped. When I land from my Misty step, would I just like land like a gymnast, like you normally would, like bloop? All right, I'm good. And I was like, nah. So I rolled it, and I had him like move a few spaces and trip and fall down.
Yeah, you fell down. Yeah.
And I remember you looking at me, Nate, like with a weird look on your face when I was like, all right, I know that I fell down. And you were just like, wait, what? I didn't do it. I'm like, oh, I rolled a fate dice because I took so much damage, and I just felt like after I Misty stepped, I'd plop out and probably stumble, and I just wanted to see if I would fall. And that was a fun moment for me, just to kind of see you look at me puzzlingly, because I knew you were like, I didn't tell you anything bad happened to you.
Oh, yeah.
You're prone now.
Yeah. Why did you prone yourself?
Yeah. Why did you voluntarily lay down? Yeah.
And I often do stuff like that a lot if I feel like it's just kind of a weird situation. Just to kind of give a little flavor to my action, as long as it's not going to hurt anything, right?
Well, and plus it made thematic sense because, like you said, Toybar was alone in this room, and a skeletal dog the size of a small house just came out of nowhere, breathed this massive necrotic blast on you, almost killed you to where you panic enough to run away and you Misty step. You are not going to be in the proper mindset of, I need to stick the landing. You're just, I need to get away. So tripping and falling. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it made perfect sense, in a roleplay standpoint. So it was really good.
But you were bringing up...
And he was like, there's this big giant dog, skeleton and stuff. I was just like, yeah, that's good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm out. Toybar's out.
But you, Brent, brought up something interesting is Merrick went in there, did his thing. Everyone else stayed kind of in that back room and kind of did the Call of Duty poke and shoot.
The
shoulder peeks.
Yeah, peek out from behind cover, do a couple of shots, get back. Yeah. a very tactical way of doing ranged combat.
Severa stayed in there with you.
Yeah, and in retrospect, she shouldn't have done that.
She shouldn't have, but then she also got hit by the frightening presence, and she could not get out.
Yeah, so she had to run.
Oh,
she had to run away,
right.
and
It pushed her into the opposite corner.
Yeah, the fear made her run into the corner instead of to the door, because going to the door would have brought her closer to it, which she couldn't do. She had to move away from it, so she had to go to the corner.
It's a perfect use of fear, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, yeah, it trapped her in the room.
If a player did that, it would be perfect. And the fact that it just kind of fell and happened that way with her was awesome. Awesome use of the fear mechanic in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was also why Toybar couldn't go back in. Because if I saw him, I was still feared.
That's right. You had the fear effect on you, so you couldn't even
go
close
immediately. The only place I could Misty Step to was out the door.
That's right. I forgot about that. You couldn't go any closer to him, and you couldn't even go in the room to shoot him. You were kind of nulled out of the fight stuck for like that first half.
You're immune to fear and stuff like that, so you were the only... That's the only reason you were able to just walk in.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
be like, what's everybody afraid of?
Yeah, it didn't affect Merrick at all. Yeah, it was like, just poke it with your sword. That's what we're supposed to do, right? Why are you all running away crying? It's all good.
But she got knocked out.
She did, yeah.
Flint almost got hit because he went in there halfway and then he got dragged back out by the Tove or Ramah, one of the girls.
Oh yeah, who did that? I think it was Tove.
Because you. Oh, that's right. You also finally used your demon bomb.
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah,
and it was so uneventful.
And then Flint polymorphed one of the demons into a giant ape.
It still died like immediately.
Well, I mean, it's Fenrir. I mean,
right? Yeah, no, that's true. Because I was like, nice, this is a perfect time to demon bomb. I'm like, ha, pow. That's right. Because I used the action to use the scroll and the bonus action to Misty Step.
Yep.
Because it wasn't an attack. It was an attack that wasn't directly affecting him, so you were able to do it, and then you jumped away, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And so I went and I looked through it, and you gave me the boosting scroll or the spell booster on it when it was bought. It had a spell booster on it. So you're like, it increases its level to X. Well, I never looked at that.
It did it. I
just assumed
5. Yeah.
That it would. I just assumed that it would do something better. But the funny thing is after reading through it all, it was one level away from being boosted high enough to do the really cool stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I get like 3 imps.
Yeah, that's what summoned was a couple little imps. And where I remember
loved it.
As a player, I was kind of like, wait, that's the scroll he got? We could do that now.
Right. I took it as, this makes sense. This dude who's selling stuff at the mage place sold me a cursed monkey's paw and a scroll of demon summoning with a spell booster, quote unquote, that falls just short of actually helping you. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's perfectly on brand.
Guy.
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah.
In one small defense of him, we kind of giving you the shaft. It was back when you were level 7. So back at level 7, it would have helped.
If we would have used it immediately, it would have been like the greatest spell we've ever cast. But now it's, oh, wait, that's it? Oh, yeah, we did get that like 2 years ago. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just funny, right?
Yeah.
I even took it as, even then, it would have been like 3 imps. The thing is if it would have been able to boost one more level, I could have gone to whatever that next threshold was to summon bigger and cooler stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. So I was just like, what do I want to do with it then? I'm going to summon as many of the little things as I can. And it was only 3. But it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Oh, it was Toybar that saved Flint after he went down.
Was it?
Was it?
Because he went down in the doorway, and I grabbed him and I pulled him out of the doorway.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then was it?
That's when I.
And then Tove ran by and healed him to get as she got closer to the door.
That's when I surged. It was that turn that I surged, and I was able to read his mind.
Oh, and you found out what he was, what his greatest like wish was or something. Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, wants to be
what his biggest goal at the moment
Ramah
was.
stalled.
Yeah, he wants to be the voice of Ramah.
Yeah, he wants to be the simp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Which,
when I hear that, I think Pulp Fiction. Not exactly, but
well, okay, yeah, all right. Good point.
so we're kind of wrapping down that fight. The group defeats the undead, Fenrir, who was basically a vanguard to the Spark before the actual Guardian.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and before we move on, after that fight, I was kind of curious because we got our asses handed to us that fight. That was a really, really
Did
close
Merrick
thing.
die again, or did he just get knocked unconscious?
No, Merrick went unconscious, used his Undying Flame ability from his Epic Destiny, and then immediately went down again next round.
That's right.
Yeah.
You did die, but it was, and then we ended there, but it was enough time for Ramah to revivify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she
The next
revived
session.
me. So I was curious because I'm like, man, we are this powerful. And so I asked Nate, I'm like, what was the challenge rating of Fenrir? And he goes, oh, it's 24. But, oh. We were like, what, level 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay. That kind of puts it in perspective to where, no, we were.
I'm curious.
Yeah, we were pretty powerful, so that makes sense.
The
Okay.
stat block.
What was your plan if we'd lost that fight or died?
All right, Brent, you're doing your campaign now, right?
I don't know. Honestly, I hadn't thought about it like that. The plan was to, beat
Toybar
Snot.
would survive.
Yeah.
Toybar would
Because I
survive.
don't come back immediately. I come back like between a minute and like an hour or something.
And then
so
coming
like I
within,
would pop back.
yeah,
and
within a
everyone
certain
would
amount of distance away too of your choice, I think.
Yeah, I could just appear back outside the temple.
I think Tove would have survived too, because she has the delay
Yeah.
death ability, doesn't she?
No, she has the swap ability.
She has the swap death. That's it. So yeah, Toybar would have been fine, but everyone else would have been screwed.
And then for anyone that's listening, like, what the hell are they talking about? I do epic paths for homebrew from 4th edition, and we gave everyone homebrew abilities of, like, either they drop to 0, they come back up. If they die, one of them comes back up. The two most interesting ones are Tove and Toybar. Toybar respawns either a certain amount of time and a certain amount of space later, just to be more chaotic. And then Tove is when somebody else drops to 0, not her, she can volunteer. And let me get my dog real quick. Where were we?
We were just wrapping up the Fenrir fight.
So yeah, kind of getting back to the group had just defeated Fenrir, who laid as the vanguard to the Spark after you guys killed it. That's where we ended for that session. So basically, we had to wait 2 weeks until it came
I
back.
had to sit there and wait on being dead
Yeah.
for 2 weeks. Yeah.
And it ain't the first time that
No.
first time for you or any player that I've done that to. I've done that a couple of times. I did that in a previous campaign you guys weren't involved with, and she asked to can I just do the resurrection roll to figure out whether I have to roll a new character. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately, she failed.
Aw.
Yeah.
So
She had to roll a new character, and she was pretty hard, which I was very sad about because I really, really liked that character. I grew a little too attached to it as a game master. Hey, tabletop gamers. Thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We come out with new episodes every Wednesday. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we continue to level up and grow.